Now, as before, we're working with our O4 schematic wiring project. I've got point-to-point wiring here as my drawing file name. I need to add that to my project. So it's a right click here, add active drawing, say yes to applying the project default values. So there's my O2 point-to-point wiring just there, and it's the current drawing. So let's have a look now at adding some point-to-point wiring. Now we're going to add these by using the wire command here, and that actually adds, as you can see there, automatic connection and wire crossing gaps or hoops, as you can see. Now, make sure you're in the schematic tab there, and it's the insert wires, wire numbers panel here. Click on wire, come into the drawing area, specify the wire start. Now I've got two basic connector components here. They're really basic ones, so I'm going to go from point 1 there. As soon as you see the object snap appear, I can just left click and it'll find that exact point 1. Can you see that there? I'm going to take that down to point 4 here, and as soon as I hover over point 4, can you see there, it finds the exact connector for me. So I click and there we are. There's my wire. Now it asks me for another wire. So I can specify another wire start. So I'm going to go from 3. So I hover, there's the nearest snap, click, drag that down here to 1. There's the connection point, and I click again, and there we are. Now you'll notice it's automatically put a hoop in there. If I just right click and enter, look, there's my hoop right there. It's hooped across. Can you see that? But they are still separate line segments and arc segments. So what I'll do now is I'll look at scooting, let's say, one of these connections along. So I've got that connection there at 1 on my connector X2. So what I'll look at now is scooting. It's on the Edit Components panel here, and scoot is right there. If I click on this down arrow, the flyout arrow, there's other commands as well, but I want scoot. So I come into the drawing area, it says select component, wire or wire number for scooting. So I'm going to select the wire component here, and as I move across to 2 there, can you see if I click again, it goes across. And it's just a case of enter to finish. But look, can you see there, it takes everything across because I selected that wire component. So let's try that one more time. Let's go to wire, and I'm going to go this time from 4 here, click, but notice I don't have a number 1 anymore. It's gone. That's because I scooted that connection across. Let me just hit escape there a second. You'll notice if I zoom down here, look, I've got 1 and 2 on top of each other. Can you see that there? So I've actually scooted that actual connection 1 across. So 1 is still there. 2 is still there also though. So what I need to do there is work on that connector. So let's have a look at that. Let's do a wire, and let's go from there like this and take it up. And you'll see there, look, can you see that little angled line? It's showing me that I'm coming off of the same connection. So I go up to this one here, click there, right click, enter to finish. And if I zoom in now, look, I've actually got 2 connections coming off of there, but because they're both on the same connection point on the connector, I've got that little angled line in place. So what I could do there is I could actually scoot that now if I wanted to 3. So if I go scoot here and select this wire component here, like so, notice it doesn't select it. I actually have to physically click that bit there. It doesn't select the angled line, but if I scoot that across to 3, like so, it's moved it across. Can you see that? It's right there. But that, weirdly enough, is still on that connection point. It's a slight quirk of the software there because it still thinks that there's 2 connectors there. So I could undo that, like so, and that takes it back to there. But just be aware of that with scoot. It does scoot the connection across and the connection point on the connector because you're taking that wiring across to the same connection point on the connector.